Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the weekly show where we sit down for a natter about hot gaming topics. And speaking of hot, have you noticed that strange yellow orb in the sky and the fact everyone's now wearing shorts to work? Yes, summer is here, and with it long lazy evenings spent playing games and eating ice cream. But you need a summer game, right? Something with which you can cool off and unwind after a long hot day at work, college or school. We've all picked one, but before we get started, please make sure you've clicked the notification bell so you know instantly when we've put a new video live. Otherwise you might miss out on, for example, Nathan talking about what he's taking on this summer.
Okay, so this is going to sound bad because the game which I want to sell you all on for your big summer game also happens to be the last game I played. Wow. So it seems like I haven't gone very far with this, dug very deep. But in terms of digging deep, my answer is Hollow Knight, which is
my god, it literally is the last. You're still playing this.
I am.
I thought you were going to say Sekiro.
No.
I was like digging deep. What's that with Sekiro?
No, Sekiro is brilliant and everyone should play it. But Hollow Knight specifically for the summer because I'm someone who doesn't particularly enjoy hot weather. I don't like the sun. I don't like when we go to Los Angeles. I burn. I feel hot. I can't wear jumpers. Jumpers are like my security blanket that I wear all the time in all weathers. So I enjoy the whole theme of this video is very much me, and I really think that everyone should stay indoors playing video games all summer. And Hollow Knight's an excellent way to do it, not just because it's a genuinely fantastic game, which I have played traditionally now a year or so late. It is like a Metroidvania with some Soulsborne elements. Just saying that to annoy as many people as possible. Pow, 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 pow. It is Metroidvania. It's like a big 2D side-scrolling map where you kind of go, you can go vertically as well as horizontally. You gain powers which enable you to traverse to areas which you initially weren't able to. And it has an element of Soulsborne, not just because it's hard, but because you collect a currency which you lose upon death but can be recovered if you go and confront your vengeful kind of ghost. And it kind of has a lore which reveals itself gradually to you. And on that theme, the reason it's specifically brilliant for playing this summer is that it's about, it takes place in a place called Hollow Nest. So you are kind of, everything in the game is kind of small. It's why it suits the kind of the 2D pared down, not the big like Dark Souls 3D adventuring kind of mode and aesthetic and style. It is a 2D game about a very small world that you kind of venture down into, and it has loads of touches about lots of the enemies are insects, and there's like a fungal area, and there's like you go into a beehive, and then there's a city called the City of Tears, which is like the stronghold of the insect nobles in the past, because it kind of takes that kind of like high fantasy element of Dark Souls and just puts it right together with insects. And in there it's raining. It's called the City of Tears because it's raining constantly, and it's raining constantly because it's where the water from the surface is just draining into this world. And there's just some of that is just beautiful. But there's something about kind of retreating into this underground world, which is like meticulously put together, which I think would be so good when it's like hot outside and you don't want to go and play football with your friend. I don't know why I'm 12 now, but I am. And there's so much to it in terms of it's the kind of game you have to explore and re-explore and pay attention, and you might not be sure where you're going to go next, and you go back through the entire map, and you might spend just a whole day, a whole play session just being like finding one entrance and be like, next time I play this game I'm actually going to make some progress. So that's going to be great. So that's my pitch: stay indoors, stay damp, dark and insecty with Hollow Knight this summer. Kids, you heard it here first.
I'm actually quite annoyed that this title has come up this week, because I realised that in the past, I think 3 Tuesday checklists, I've talked about games that would fit this bill so well. I talked about, what did I talk about last week? I've talked about Metal Gear Solid 5, which would be amazing for this. I would like to talk about that, but I'm not going to. I talked about the Trials games, and XCOM 2, oh my god. That would be an amazing summer game. But I'm not going to talk about those because I feel like I'd be cheating.
Is that what you're going to talk about?
I'm not going to talk about Blood and Truth.
Why have you got Blood and Truth t-shirt? This is so confusing.
I like Blood and Truth, and I like this t-shirt. Put those hands together. Let me tell you about a little VR game. No, it's not a VR game. It is Divinity Original Sin 2.
What?
Ooh.
Yes, that's
Wasn't
right.
expecting this.
That's right. This is a game that I must admit I was completely unaware of until Holly brought it to my attention last year, and we live streamed it on the channel, and I instantly fell in love with it. But I really feel like I'm going to struggle to do it justice. But here I go. This is my job. I'm going to try. It's really, really good.
Job.
It's like, first of all, it is massive. I'm going to try. Let me sell this to you. Why do you want to play this during the summer? Here we go. First of all, it's absolutely huge. It's like, I think if you just do what is needed to finish the game, I think it's about 60 hours. Like, that's just if you just rock it through, ticking boxes, the golden path, 60 hours. I think if you're like a completionist, that can go up to like 160 hours, maybe 200 hours. It's very, very big. 2, it has an epic story. Ooh, it's like a whole brilliant high fantasy world about gods leaving the world, I believe. I must admit, I'm only a little way into it, so I don't want to overstate my knowledge of Divinity Original Sin 2 yet. But like an amazing fantasy world, with lots of story to get wrapped up in. Obviously, there's like the overarching path. On top of that, I really like that you can choose to play as either one of, I think, I shouldn't guess, some characters that have been created for you, which have a backstory and like a reason, they have their own traits or whatever, or you can make your own character. And this is when we're starting to get into the kind of tabletop RPG elements of this, which I really like, because that is it really struck me when playing it on the channel last year, like how they had worked really hard to bring across. I mean, loads of games have tabletop elements that you don't even know about, and especially lots of them are behind the scenes, but this is quite up front. One of those being like giving your character a backstory before you start, which then affects lots of things in the game that you won't realize until you're well into the game. It's like, it's one of those things where you make your choices at the start and then you let it play out and you see kind of what happens. But most importantly, because I think whilst it is important to hide away from the sun over the summer, it's not important to hide away from your friends. And you can play the entire game couch co-op, split screen, if you want. I was expecting more, I'll be honest, guys. Everybody looked at me like, yeah.
I just don't believe that you genuinely have enough friends to do that. So I just
I
felt
only
like...
need one friend now. One friend.
Yeah, and I'm sticking with that statement.
Wow, that's cut me deep.
What about those who don't have many friends?
Well, you can play online as well, Rosie. You could make an internet friend whose name you don't actually know, just a stranger, but they also own the game, and you could go on an adventure together. You could properly, role play it and just play as your character. You could even do voice chat as your character if you wanted. I'm just saying.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. So I believe that's how people do it. So like, I'm deadly serious, guys. I mean, I thought that this co-op thing was revolutionary. You didn't give me the love I was expecting. Maybe you're all looking at your own friends list and thinking, ooh. But yes, Divinity Original Sin 2. It's like it's just a fantastic summer adventure that you don't even have to go on alone. Or you just can.
My game is a game that I've recently just started, and like you, Nath, I haven't finished it either, but I'm so sold on this game and I'm loving it so much that I've just got to recommend it for this summer. And that is Final Fantasy IX.
You've been influenced by Rob. You've been around him too much.
I hear Final Fantasy and a number.
Final Fantasy and the number, that's all you need. To be fair, Rob he was the one who kind of gave me the final push, because when I finished Final Fantasy X, I was like, oh, do I do 8 or 9 next? Because I always knew I was going to do one of those next.
What is this order? I don't understand Final Fantasy.
Oh no, trust me, I did like 7, 10, now I'm on 9, then I'm going to do 8, and then 6. But Final Fantasy IX, oh my god, this is just such a beautiful game. And it's brilliant for summer because, when it's summer and sometimes you want like a story that you could just be taken away by. It's got like it's got lots of love elements.
Divinity Original Sin 2, great game.
Yeah, like great game without the co-op. So it's really, Dave, yours just tops
I'm
mine.
surprised you didn't mention the 4-player co-op.
I know, yeah, I should have mentioned that.
Oh god.
That's online only. Anyway, Rosie, you were saying.
Well, mine's nothing compared to yours now. But no, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I was sold on it from the beginning, where you've got this whole like theatrical. It kind of has a very Shakespearean vibe to it. So immediately, with summer, sometimes some people go to see a cinema in like a late theatre viewing, when it's still a bit warm, but you can go outside. So that's kind of summery. And I'm not selling this game very well. But you're all looking at me just like, and it's just the whole story of it. It's funny. Like as soon as I've witnessed all the characters interact with each other, they're all hilarious. They've all got fantastic little traits that I love about all of them. Their designs and the whole location designs are awesome. Like every location I've been to is beautiful, and the music is just stunning to go in the background of it. And it looks amazing on PS4. Like I'm playing it on PS4 at the moment and I'm just like, it looks so pretty. And every time I go into a new area, a lot of them are sunny areas, again with summer. So you get a very much like summery, fun, happy vibe. But then you've also got the areas which are very like serious and very sad.
Okay.
Yeah, very sad. So you do have you have happy, funny, joyous moments, and then you've also got the moments where it's like, okay, no, now we're getting emotional, we're getting a bit serious here. That's the thing, the emotions chuck you like to and from. Vivi, like he's contemplating all these really like deep topics, and I love Vivi, and he's become my new best friend, and everything bad that happens to Vivi, I literally go, no, because I love him.
6'6"?
6'6".
Yeah, rather than VV. In Final Fantasy, it should be 6'6".
Man, you're on a roll today.
Rosie, imagine I didn't know anything about Final Fantasy 9. Get me excited about the story. So far, what are you up to in your game? What's?
Okay, so let's say Dave, you haven't played it.
Yeah.
How would I pitch it to you?
Just top line. What's the premise?
Elevator pitch.
You've got 10 seconds. No pressure. Go.
Queen is being horrible. Princess wants to talk to Mum to fix it, and she's just trying to take over the world, and she looks really weird.
Okay. Cool. Well, I want to know more.
I genuinely am. I'm
And
interested.
war, and there's lots of war. Lots of war, but there's also love.
Oh.
Yes.
Like real life.
Yeah, like real life. So there is lots of war happening, but there's also a lovely romance story, and it's just such a good story. And if you in the summer holiday, you've got 6 weeks roughly, or if you're at work and you just want to come home and not go outside for a bit, you just want to go on a beautiful story that's gorgeous, the characters are fantastic. Then Final Fantasy 9. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I've started it, and you all just play it this summer, please, and then tell me what you think, because I love it.
Okay, I've decided to go for a bold strategy.
Ooh.
And I've decided that because I love going out during summer. So I'm like, I just want to be in the park all day. I do want to play football with my friends. I am 12.
That's a loser.
I've gone a short game so that you can choose to spend more time outside, and it's not one you've got to sink your entire summer into. So I've gone for Observation.
Nice. I finished
Thank you.
Observation, so I get to go.
Dave's finished one game.
That's right. That's why I had to mention it.
So this is a relatively recent game. Dave and I have both played it, and it is absolutely fantastic. So I was sold as soon as I heard about it, because my favourite genre of almost anything is stuff goes wrong in space.
Yeah.
And this is very much stuff has gone wrong in space. So you're actually playing as the AI on a spaceship, which is such a cool idea. So basically, if you've ever seen 2001, that's kind of where they started from. And they liked the idea of this AI that's gone a little bit rogue, but instead they flipped it and you're playing it. So you're controlling an entire huge spaceship. So it's like a big international space station. So there's Chinese arms, there's Russian arms, there's like European and American arms. So they've all come together. It's this huge spaceship, and something terrible has happened. Part of it's been destroyed, and that's where the story starts. So you have to try and get all the systems back online. You're trying to figure out what happened. And basically things went very, very wrong. So it's a brilliant story. It's such a beautifully cinematic game. There's these fantastic moments. There are literally so many points where I was like, like genuinely like that. That's honestly what I was like. It was ridiculous. And I was completely engrossed. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I love this game. And so I've decided there are 2 ways you can play it. So this is my pitch. So you can play it in chunks. So it's a really short game. You probably finish it in like 6 to 8 hours, depending on how much you kind of scan everything, which I did. Because you literally can be like, what's this? What's this? What's this? Which is quite fun. And so you can play it in chunks. It would be a really good one to kind of play a little bit of every week throughout the holidays, because it's a story that, like I said, you're going to be thinking about it, you're going to want to come back to it, and it kind of suits it. It's very episodic in the way it tells you parts of the story, that it's very clearly kind of separated into sections. So you could just play chunks and come back to it, and then you've got lots of time for socialising with the friends that we all have, Dave, and and going outside and having lots of summer fun. And so you could play it like that, and it won't, it's not going to take up your whole summer. You're not going to need to grind, it's a game that you can just play in little sections. But what I did was I made myself a space camp. So I was very excited about playing this game, and basically what I did was I wore a NASA t-shirt, which I believe is official astronaut wear. I think that's what they do. And I had astronaut food, like freeze-dried astronaut food to eat, and I basically turned my living room into like a spaceship by closing the curtains. Again, that's officially how NASA say you do it. And I made it really dark, and I just played it all in like one big day, which I surrounded with other space activities like watching space films and things like that. So I did Space Camp. That would be my recommended way of playing this game, because it's really fun. If you do it all in one session, like I said, it's not very long, so it is just like one day out of your summer holidays. You can still have all your fun, but yeah.
I'm certainly down with closing the curtains.
Yeah.
I would recommend closing the curtains for most of these games. But this one especially.
Yeah, especially. So that would be my pitch for what you should play this summer.
Any questions?
I'm trying to make a fungal area joke that's not funny. I don't want to make it. So let's just leave
Fungi?
that.
You could have made a fungi joke, the classic.
Yeah, that's good.
Sounds like I'm being a real fun guy.
Hey everyone, I made a fun guy joke.
Cool.
There we go.
I didn't think there was much room for our jokes to get any worse, but they just did. Let us know what games you're playing this summer in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and click that notification bell so you always know when a new Tuesday checklist goes live. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
For the players.